CNN, when it comes to the GOP tax plan, lawmakers are in what one source described CNN as this bizarre moment where everyone knows this can and will get done, but nobody's really ready to actually get to that point yet. Quote translation: there's a lot of pride of authorship when it comes to the House and Senate versions. And that doesn't necessarily lend itself to easy deal-making, even when the frameworks align fairly closely. Bottom line: slowly but surely, a final proposal is being hammered out.But into, and at various points throughout the weekend, several sources involved acknowledged to CNN that things just aren't moving quickly, and at times it has been frustratingly slow for some key lawmakers digging on specific provisions. What's to watch? Keep an eye on every Republican on the conference committee.If they start splitting publicly on specific provisions, or moving off into public cliques for or against specific issues that would signal a more serious problem than is thought to currently exist. But all involved say that's still very unlikely.The timeline. GOP leaders and negotiators plan to have a final agreement nailed down by the end of this week. The Senate is now expected to vote first, with a final vote as soon as December 18, according to two people involved, though there is a possibility that could slip to the next day. The chamber would go first, in order to address any budget rule issues that crop up before the House acts. The House would then follow the day after.The goal, according to multiple aides directly involved, is to have the final proposal passed and on President Donald Trump's desk to sign by December 20. The timing on this all remains fluid.But. That timeline has been the goal for more than a week and remains so Monday. There's plenty of ill chatter about what the president will say and do later this week when he talks taxes. A White House official confirmed Monday that Trump will deliver remarks on tax reform at the Treasury Department this Wednesday. It will be the same day as the first public conference committee meeting, and has been communicated to Hill Republicans as the president's final big effort to push things across the finish line. There's no question Trump has been helpful in very specific ways, in particular with senators such as Ron Johnson of Wisconsin and Rand Paul of Kentucky. But there are also no shortage of lawmakers and aides who vent frustration for the lack of a laser focus on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue on the effort, and blame that more than anything else for the moribund approval ratings for the bill so far. Suffice to say, all eyes will be on this event.About that first conference committee meeting, expected to be Wednesday. Call it what it is, a show. There have been major pieces of legislation hammered out in public conference committees that go for hours on end, day after day, as hundreds of amendments, Republican and Democrat, are offered. The legislation that became the Dodd-Frank Act was a prime example of this. This is not that. The. Work is being done behind the scenes. Democrats will get no say in the matter. There's a primary reason why. The calendar. They want this done early next week. Full open conferences take a long time. We'd have no problem doing a big open conference, one Republican aide said. We just don't have time for it. The problem right now, there's a couple of things that are going on right now, according to several people involved. First, the grinded-out work of reconciling the bills from a purely legislative language process, while also ensuring it aligns with Senate budget rules is complicated and takes time. But more importantly right now, the two chambers don't trust one another much. Senate Republicans made clear their provisions should take priority because of their budget rules and slim margin for error. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell can only afford to lose one more vote when the bill comes back to the floor. Again, nobody involved sees that coming. But that's what's been defining the first week plus of talks. They have space to work with and lose votes, while still getting it over the finish line. Two things, more than anything else, will dictate which provisions end up on in the final bill: how much they cost and Senate rules. It's no secret that there are plenty of areas where the House and Senate bills diverge, but here are some examples of the political realities that may guide the policy decisions made in the days ahead. And to be clear, this is nowhere near an exhaustive list, just a sample. The deduction for state and local taxes, sort. In the end, the Senate came toward the House on this. But top House negotiators now want more for a specific reason. A large group of California House Republicans voted for the bill with the promise it would get better later. Well, a property tax-only sort deduction doesn't do much for Californians, which already have a capped property tax. But make no mistake about it, as time has gone on, and the housing interest groups have flooded lawmaker offices, the Senate version has appeared more appetizing by the day. But again, it's a revenue thing.And. This is far from the single top priority.The estate tax. Both bills double the threshold for estates to be taxed to $11. $2 million, but only one repeals the tax entirely. Eventually, the House version. To put it plainly, Republicans involved know it's a tough messaging issue, and that repeal is both expensive and looks particularly bad given the current balance of the corporate to individual side cuts. But there's a real fight over this right now. Pass-throughs. McConnell's ability to solve the Johnson pass-through puzzle was crucial to locking in the votes needed to pass the bill for the tax bill. The House takes a very different approach, though with similar rate goals. It is a battle between who is favored, passive owners or active owners, and it remains unclear who is going to win out in the end. But it's clear that Johnson and Stevens of Montana, your concerns will need to be addressed in any final deal. The flake deal. Much attention was paid to the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program piece of Senate. Jeff Flake's deal to vote for the bill, but the clear reason was the changes he got to the expensing provision of phase-out, instead of a clean sunset of the provision that allows businesses to immediately write off the cost of new equipment purchases. This is, again, another very expensive provision. But it was crucial to Flake's vote more so than anything else. As such, expected, awesome close version of it to survive. Collins deal. The provisions.And. Susan Collins of Maine got into the Senate bill the sought property tax deduction, medical expense deduction, catch-up contributions on retirement accounts for public employees are all expected to survive. Collins has made very clear she'll vote against the final proposal if it doesn't include what she negotiated into the Senate version. So expect these all to survive. There have been a lot of headlines in recent days noting that Collins is reserving the right to vote against the final tax bill. That is not new, nor is it news. This has always been the case, and was at the crux of her negotiations with McConnell. She had specific asks. Those asks were addressed in the Senate bill.If they aren't in the final version, should be a no. Many have scoffed at the idea those have any chance of becoming law-going, so far as saying Collins got rolled. Quote, right parenthesis Collins is an experienced legislator and B right parenthesis McConnell doesn't make promises to members of his conference he doesn't intend to keep. Does that mean those healthcare provisions have a clear path into law? Absolutely not. House Republicans have zero appetite to deal with them. The White House isn't going to go out of its way to get them done. But several aides have made clear to me, don't dismiss them yet. This story has been updated to include additional reporting.